Sunday, April 18th, and we're going to be looking at the 2022 Senate retirements. The GOP retirements, to be specific, because in the Republican Party, out of the 50 senators, at least 5 of them have confirmed retirements. Richard Shelby of Alabama, Roy Blunt of Missouri, Richard Burr of North Carolina, Rob Portman of Ohio, and Patrick Toomey of Pennsylvania, who goes by Pat Toomey. Interestingly enough, 2 of the senators, Pat Toomey and Richard Burr, both voted to convict Donald Trump in his impeachment, as well as Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Mitt Romney of Utah, but that's later on. Mitt Romney actually is in 2024, so I shouldn't be talking about it right now, but I just felt like it. But Mitt Romney, to be honest, he has a good chance of retiring. He's been the governor of Massachusetts, a presidential nominee, and a senator, and he might just retire because in Utah, there's a heavy wave against him after his statements against Donald Trump. But if we look at this map, there are 8 states. A lot of these states aren't competitive. I'm going to just go ahead and say that. Missouri, not. Alabama, not. Ohio on the Senate level, not. Unless there's someone really popular like Amy Acton, the health official, there's almost no chance for it to go blue. But the thing is, Republicans are messing up their own chances. But first, let's just look at these races, the uncalled one, the ones they haven't really talked about. In Wisconsin, Johnson said he didn't decide, and he might be considering going again. He said he doesn't plan to decide anytime soon, but not running is his preference. And there is a reason it matters. Wisconsin is a key part of this control of the Senate. If the Republicans want to control the Senate, they need to maintain control of Wisconsin. Looking at the 2022 election, it's extremely important. Ron Johnson already has endorsements from Donald Trump. He might easily win. Looking back at 2016, he had a surprise win against He had a surprise win over Russ Feingold, the senator he beat in 2010. He won by almost little more than 3 points, 3.4 points. And that's a big margin in the Wisconsin, especially since it had Russ Feingold as a senator for a very long time. He was one of those people Barack Obama had mentioned in their memoir, The Promised Land, if I'm not wrong. But if we just look at that, if Ron Johnson retires, it's extremely easy for Democrats to win in that state because of the fact that it's a heavily Democratic state. In Tammy Baldwin, when she ran for her re-election bid in 2018, she easily won. And that's why I'm just going to characterize it if Ron Johnson does not run as a Democratic state. So if he retires, Democrats have this state as a pickup, putting them at 51. Pennsylvania, I'm not even going to bother wasting my time. Not wasting my time, I shouldn't have used that word, but I'm not even going to bother trying to make a case for why the Republican Party has any chance in Pennsylvania. Unless there's a huge October surprise of some sort, Pennsylvania is for certain a Democratic state. And then if we look at Alaska, the potential here is some independent of some sort, or Lisa could win in this state if there's a convoluted race between Lisa Murkowski and a Trump-backed person. If Lisa Murkowski retires, however, there is no competition. But the reason I selected this is it's sort of connected because Lisa Murkowski not retiring could actually give the Democrats the seat, not by a majority, by a plurality. In the state of Missouri, it's a safe Republican seat. It's been that way for a long time. However, the former governor Eric Greitens was kicked out of his office. He resigned, but the Missouri legislature, controlled by Republicans, interestingly enough, were prepared to proceed with impeachment. However, he resigned in the end, but he's running for that seat. Many prominent Republicans are not happy about that because it will significantly affect their chances in the race. If he wins the endorsement of Donald Trump, who he's a strong supporter of, he could easily win that race. Missouri went for Donald Trump by about 10 points, if I'm not wrong, and that could be extremely bad for Republicans because if he wins that primary, and there's a scandal hovering over him, then he might just give the seat to a conservative Democrat like Claire McCaskill, who represented Missouri till Josh Hawley beat her in the 2018 midterms. Now, another interesting state. In North Carolina, to be honest, I think this has a possibility of going for a Democrat, but I just don't think it's going to happen. But logically, it has a good chance of happening looking at historical data and trends. But North Carolina just has a history of narrowly electing Republicans regardless of the political climate. You could see that in 2020 and previously as well. So I think North Carolina has a chance to go blue, and for the sake of this, I will characterize it because Richard Burr is leaving an open seat. There are many unpopular candidates, including perhaps one of the Trump family and Pat McCrory and others who might just give this seat to the Democrats. Alabama, there is a chance for Democrats to carry it. If someone like, if someone like Eric Greitens runs who's unpopular, or someone who the candidate who ran against Doug Jones in 2017 had some sexual assault and harassment cases going out against him, and if he or someone similar runs again in Alabama, it could potentially go Democratic, but I just don't think that will happen. So Alabama will stay red. But in Ohio, I think it has potential. Well, it has seemed to be a GOP stronghold following the 2016 and 2020 elections, where it went for the GOP, especially in 2020. I think that Rob Portman's retirement could lead to a more outsider Democrat like Amy Acton, who is a Democrat and who's considered running. If she might actually carry that state, putting the Democrats at 56. Now, will he or will he won't? Will Chuck Grassley run for another term? It's a great question. Chuck Grassley has been the senator from Iowa for one of the longest times in American history. But that's not the thing. He's been there forever. It's a fact. And the reason this is so important is Iowa's Senate seat is integral to the control of the Senate. So if we look at this, most find Chuck Grassley to retire. He's been there for over 62 years, and there's a lot of questions. Chuck Grassley say his re-election decision is several weeks off, but that could mean many things. But the reason it is so important, because a Democrat like Theresa Greenfield, who narrowly lost to Trump-backed Joni Ernst in an election year, might just carry that state when Chuck Grassley retires, especially since there isn't high turnout there's unlikely to be high turnout among conservatives. And that's just why I think Iowa has a potential to go blue. That's put Democrats at 57. Imagine if Republicans managed to flip I'm just going to use retirements for this, but if they flip in Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, and Democrats still have control, a big thing. And even if it's unlikely they're going to win all, right? I mean, there's some that I know a lot of people don't think they might win. Alaska being one of them. Missouri, North Carolina, and even Ohio. Or Iowa, too. But then Republicans, if they win Georgia and Arizona, it's still a tie, which means the Democrats control it. Which is why these wave of retirements is extremely good for the Democrats, because it provides the opportunity to them to win a huge number of seats. And by doing that, they can maintain a control of the Senate for a long time. I do plan to make a video about the Alaska 2022 election, as well as Florida and some of these other states. If you have any comments or suggestions or anything else, please share it in the comments. Please give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Thank you.